Welcome back to Low Stress Math with Mrs. Bono. We are in Unit 6, Lesson 7, Solving Systems of Equations, well, more solving systems of equations. This is basically a little review. And this is a review of the graphing. So before I do that, I'm actually going to turn back to the graphing at the beginning. And I'm going to look at this. If I have different slopes, different m's, and I'm going to have different lines, I'm going to cross once and have one solution. But if I have the same slope, different y-intercepts, I'm going to have parallel lines. But if I have the same slope and the same y-intercept, it's the same line, and it's going to be infinitely many. Now I'm reviewing that because when I get back here and I look at my very first problem, what do I have here? The same slope m for both of them and different y-intercepts. So before I even graph this, I know this is parallel lines with no solution. So I've actually solved it. But I'm not going to get any credit for it because I didn't do what I was asked to do, which is, this says graph, find the solution to the following systems graphically. If it tells you to do that and you don't graph, then you don't get any credit on your test. So get it together and let's graph some parallel lines. Here we go. I'm going to start at positive 2 because you begin, oh my gosh, I didn't even highlight this. I should have done that first. Come on, Bono, get with the program here. Here we go. Here we go. I'm going to put my answers up here. And highlighting, lots of highlighting, love to highlight. Yeah, All right. Now, starting at positive 2, because you can begin at the back at the B, and then I'm going to use the slope. My slope here is m equals negative 2 over 1, which is rise 2, left 1. So from here, up 2, left 1, up 2, left 1. And I am going to follow the pattern in the opposite direction, down 2 and right 1. And you have to have points all the way across your grid. Why? Because I am in charge and I said so. No, because, if you really don't know what you're doing and you have lines all the way across, it'll cross. Well, or in this case, not cross. I don't know. Negative 1. And I'm going to do the same thing. Rise 2, left 1. Rise 2, left 1, all the way across, and in the opposite direction, and look at that. See, I even graphed a point wrong. Bad Bono. Here we go, right across the grid. I like my arrows to be off the grid, but in this case, it doesn't really matter that much. My lines are parallel, and I just have to write the equations on the line. So this line is y equals negative 2x plus 2, and the second line is y equals negative 2x minus 1. And ta-da, I'm done. They're parallel. This one is different. This is going to require some work. Now, this begins at 7, and then I'm supposed to rise 3 and go left 2, but I can't do that. So I'm going to do the reverse. Because it's negative 3 over 2, I'm going to go down and to the right. Because I can't go up and left. I have to go down 3, right 2, down 3, right 2, all the way until I am off the grid. You like to be off the grid. No, I don't. Don't be silly, Bono. And arrows, arrows. Let's take a look at this one. This has an invisible 1 here. So that means my slope is 1 over 1. I'm going to rise 1. And I'm going to run 1. And I'm going to begin at the back at the b equals 2. B equals 2, rise 1, run 1, rise 1, run 1. All the way across. And I'm actually not going to put them in the opposite direction because once I see where they cross, I don't just need to follow the pattern. And there we go. Nice arrows on the end. Write the equation on the line. Y equals x plus 2. And on the other line, it's going to be y equals negative 3 over 2x plus 7. Yay, me. Where they cross, right here, circle it because that's the solution. And it's at 1, 2, because it's x and y, x first, 2, 4. Where they cross. That's my solution. 2, 4. All right. Next. Oh, bah humbug. Look at that. I can graph this one. It's easy. It's in y equals mx plus b form. But that one's not. So I'm going to use my handy dandy scrap paper, and I'm going to make it into y equals mx plus b. So 3 over 2x plus y equals negative 2. So I'm going to subtract 3 over 2x from both sides. Look at that, I lined them up. I shouldn't have done that. These are unlike terms. Bono, bono, bono. You don't want to mush those together. Well, this is going to disappear, and I get y equals negative 3 over 2x minus 2. So I'm going to begin at the back at the b equals negative 2. Then my slope m is negative 3 over 2. So I'm going to rise 3, and I'm going to go left 2. And now I'm going to take my little bit of scrap paper, and I'm actually going to move it over to the side. Actually, you know what? Put it up here so you can see what you're doing there, Bono. And I'm going to begin at the bottom at negative 2, and I'm going to rise 1, 2, 3, and go left 1, 2. Rise 3, left 2, rise 3, left 2. And I can go in the opposite direction. I could drop 3, right 2, to get all my points. And I'm not throwing my little flippy piece of paper away. I'm going to just get it out of the way for a second, and I'll show you what I'm going to do with it in a minute. So here we go. Arrows on both sides. And now I have to graph that one. This one also begins at the back at negative 2. So I'm starting at the same point. I already know where I'm going to cross. And my slope is 4. So what does that mean? M equals 4 over 1. I'm going to rise 4. I'm going to run 1. So from that same negative 2, rise 4, run 1. Rise 4, run 1. Drop 4, left 1. And there we go. Connect the points. Arrows on both sides. Write the equation on the line. Y equals 4x minus 2. This I have to write the original equation. This equation is what goes on this line. 3 over 2x plus y equals negative 2. And now circle where they cross, which is the solution, 0, negative 2. So up here, 0, negative 2. Now, I have it. And what do you do with this little piece of scrap paper, Bono? That's why I love sticky notes. I'm just going to take this sticky note, and I'm going to leave it right there, so that when I'm studying for my test, I can go back and look at that. Clever, Bono. Not really, but I try. Now this one. Oh, I could do this one easy. This is the M, this is the B. I'm going to go rise 4, run 1. And I'm going to begin at negative 2. So down here, starting at negative 2, rise 4, run 1. Rise 4, run 1. And drop 4, left 1. And I got a nice line. Here we go. Now this one, oh dear, what am I going to do with that? Well, I could add 4x to both sides and get y equals 4x minus 2. Hey, that's the same line. That's easy. Now, right next to, on top of almost, going through the same points, I'm going to put another line, a red line. Just going to fill it in so it looks like one big thick line. because it really is just one big line. There we go. And now I know these are equal to each other. This is going to be, don't write in red, infinitely many solutions. Now I just have to write both these equations on line. The top one, which was y equals 4x minus 2, and the red one, which original equation again, negative 4x plus y equals negative 2. Okie dokie doodle. Things to check for when you're taking a test. Shrinking this down. You want to make sure you have arrows and equations on all your lines. Be careful. You want to be sure that you circle your solution and write it there, but also write it where it tells you to write the solution. You want to show all your work if you're rewriting it in y equals mx plus b form. And that, I think, is that. All right, take care. Talk to you soon.